Hey guys, it's Amon
And Christina
from
from
Our
Our
Rich
Rich
Journey.
Journey. The recession is upon us, which probably means that you're going to be seeing a lot of doom and gloom in the news about the economy. And you'll also probably be thinking about ways to tighten up your budget, ways to save with high inflation and this recession that we're in right now. But in this video, we want to do something completely different. We don't want to talk about areas that you should save or areas that you should cut from your budget. In this video, we're actually talking about areas that you should continue to spend. Because during a time like this, if you stop spending in these specific areas, you could be worse off in the long run. So in this video, we're going to be talking about 7 things that we think that you should continue to spend money on despite being in a recession and despite high inflation rates.
Now, of course, we think it's good to save money, but at a time like this, you have to be very careful about all of the negative news that's going to be coming out. You are going to be hearing things like, don't invest in this, don't invest in that, stay away from such and such. But these are all headline-grabbing news articles to get you to click. All of the negative news that is going to be coming out can cause you to stand completely still and not move forward towards your goals of financial independence. So with that being said, let's get into the 7 things that you should not cut from your budget during a recession.
So number 1 is your investments. A lot of times when people are looking to scale back, they think of their investments first, especially something like a 401k, because that comes right out of your paycheck. You never see it. And if you modify that investment during a time where we have high inflation or during a time of recession, you can start to see that money come back into your paycheck. But we advise that you do not do that. Continue investing in your 401k, continue investing in your IRAs, in your standard brokerage accounts. And this is because the stock market is down right now. We always have this concept that we teach where we say you should pay yourself first. Investments should be your number 1 priority. And if you are investing now, when the stock market is down, once the stock market recovers, you can see huge returns in your portfolio. Let's talk about expense number 2. The second thing that you should not cut from your budget are things that affect your productivity. So here's an example. Maybe you need certain professional certificates or trainings, and you could put them off for a bit longer if you wanted to save that money. But we think things like professional trainings, different certifications, they can help you in your professional career. They can move you forward faster. And if you put these things off for too long, you may be stepping behind and you may not be as competitive as other people in the workplace.
And we think this is such an important aspect, especially when it comes to how competitive you are in your current job and in future jobs. Because we would hate for you to stand still or be stagnant during a recession, because when the boom starts again, you need to be the first person that people think of when it comes to hiring. Now, you can be very resourceful when it comes to obtaining more training, but it's going to require you to make sacrifices in other areas that aren't a priority when it comes to this particular aspect of your development.
The next thing that you should not cut are social activities. Now, this one is probably something that people tend to cut first. They think, I don't want to go out anymore because if I go out to eat, if I go out to drinks, those cost a lot of money. And during the recession, I want to save money. But that is not our point. We're saying keep this as a line item in your budget. You should be looking to still do social activities, but you just have to be creative in how you do them. You may not necessarily go out to drinks or go out to restaurants, but you can host things at your home. You can have a potluck with all of your friends and family over. You can go over to your friends and family's homes. This is about getting creative with how you spend your time and your money, and social activities are very important, especially within the last couple of years where people have become more isolated. Do not cut this from your budget.
Now notice we said keep it as a line item in your budget. So don't cut it completely, but just be more resourceful on how you spend money on social activities. We often hear people say, I am not going outside anymore. It is too expensive out there. Well, if you just stayed in your home all day, it goes back to being isolated. And when you're isolated, you lose that synergy that you have with the community, with your friends and your family. We think it's so important to be around people, to be a social person. It helps in so many different respects. And so don't completely think that because the recession is here that you can't still do those things. You just have to be resourceful in how you do them. The next thing you should not cut from your budget is insurance. Now, I know a lot of us hate paying insurance because we don't see the immediate gratification from paying it. In fact, insurance works in the background, but it is so important that you have insurance in place because it protects your assets. And should catastrophe hit, it's important that you have it in place.
So now we're talking about all things insurance related. So we're talking about car insurance, life insurance, health insurance, homeowners insurance. These things are in place to protect your assets, so you don't want to eliminate them to save a quick buck. The next thing that you should not cut are gym memberships. Now, this may come as a shock to a lot of people because I think when people start looking through their subscriptions and things that they have that they pay monthly, a lot of people go, I'm gonna cut my gym membership. Now, of course, if you don't use your gym membership, you should definitely cut it. Or if you have something at home or an alternative thing in place, you should cut that gym membership. But if you use the gym frequently, if you like going there, if you don't have an alternative, and if you get motivated from other people at the gym, you should not cut your gym membership.
And this is so important because health and wealth go hand in hand. We always talk about paying yourself first. Well, when it comes to maintaining your health, that is the best payment that you can make to yourself. We would hate for you to achieve financial independence, but as a result of getting there, your health deteriorated. Please don't do that. The next thing you don't want to cut are your kids' activities. Now, you know that we have 2 daughters, and we were able to achieve financial independence, and at the same time, we still were able to do lots of activities with our kids. Our kids played sports. Our kids went to camps. Our kids did all of the things that kids love to do. And we were able to do that because we were resourceful in how we provided those activities to our kids. For one, a way that we saved a ton of money was that we took every opportunity to coach our kids in those activities. And by coaching them, a lot of the times we were able to do those activities, or our kids were able to do those activities for free. So at a time like this, when you're looking at your budget and you see how much you're spending on your kids' activities, look for ways not to cut those activities, but to reduce the expense that you may be having to put out for those activities. And one way to do that is to get more involved in the coaching aspect or volunteering for those activities.
And the last thing that you shouldn't cut out of your budget is travel. And again, this is probably a shocker for a lot of people because that may be one of the first things that people cut. It's not necessary. It can be really expensive. So people want to cut that right off the bat from their budget. Now we're saying keep that in your budget, but get creative with how you spend your money on travel. For example, when we were on our F.I.R.E journey, we used travel rewards. And we did this to fly all over the world for practically free. In some instances, we paid absolutely nothing for our vacations. So we're talking about getting creative about how you spend your money on travel. You don't necessarily need to spend thousands of dollars, even hundreds of dollars. If you get really familiar with travel rewards, you can take vacations for free. Now, we actually have done several videos on this channel about how we use travel rewards to travel the world for free. We'll leave a link for those videos in the description below, but just understand that travel does not have to be costly and you do not have to cut that from your budget. So those are the 7 things that we think you do not have to cut from your budget despite being in a recession. Now, of course, there are a lot of other areas of your budget that you should definitely cut, that you should scale back. You should look at your budget and find those areas that you need to do that. If you need help, we actually have a very detailed budget. We have it for free on our website. It even tracks your savings rate. It really helps you look at all of your itemized expenses and find areas that you should be saving and other areas that you should keep. Now, if you want to get this free resource, you just have to go to ourrichjourney.com and you can get that. We'll also leave a link for that in the description below. Now, if you like this video, make sure you give us a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel, and join the journey.